There you go.
I had it in reverse. My fault. How you doing, Shanti?
Hey, Ralph, how you doing?
Good to see you, sweetheart.
It's good to see you too. It's funny. I was playing, I know, New Edition. What can I say?
That's what's up. That's what. Listen, you know the song. You know the routine. You know them better than we do.
So, first of all, let me just say, one, I want to shout out to Miss Loretta and Johnny for hooking this up for me.
Mhm.
And you gotta give me 2 minutes of a fan moment, if it's okay.
That's what's good. Come on with it.
So, I've been around y'all since I was a little girl. I met y'all probably in the early 90s when I started working in the music business. But me and my girlfriend April and Shanti and Quib and Minka and Eva, we all, LaShonda, love you so much. We got a little crew since we were in the 6th grade. And there was one time, literally, I called the Hyatt Regency in Atlanta, Georgia. I think it was the Candy Girl album, and y'all were in town touring. And Calvin Hubbard, y'all bodyguard at the time, answered the phone. I don't know how I got through. But oh my God, I was such a fan. We all loved you. Of course, we all had a crush on you and the rest of the guys. And then the other time is I was in the 9th grade and y'all performed at Six Flags. And my boyfriend at the time took me to the show. I'm so embarrassed. And y'all walked through the park. I don't know why security or the record company let y'all walk through Six Flags. But I literally was holding my boyfriend's hand, dragging him through Six Flags, chasing after you. So embarrassing, but a special part of my childhood. And I just want to say thank you because, again, I've seen you over the years. I've been around y'all a lot, but you and I have never really had a chance to kind of kick it and talk. And I just love and appreciate everything y'all represent, what you meant to our childhood. And I watched the documentary. And we're going to get into that a little bit, but it was just interesting hearing some of your answers. And even at the end, when the young lady who was interviewing you asked you, what would your legacy be? And you were like, I don't really know. And I just want to tell you, brother, your legacy is rich. It's blessed. It will be here forever. You have left an indelible mark on our hearts, and especially as it relates to music and the culture. In my book that I wrote about my life and career in music, there were 3 artists that I mentioned that was responsible for my love for wanting to work in the entertainment industry. And it was Prince, Michael Jackson, and New Edition.
Oh, wow.
So
wow.
I say that, and I've been in the game for over 25 years. So I just say that to say, don't ever wonder what your legacy is, because most people will only dream of having the career and more importantly, leaving the mark and the impression that you left on the lives, and you're continuing to leave on our lives. So we love you, brother, and we salute you.
I appreciate that, Shanti. You've been around it. You've seen some of the highs and some of the lows. You've seen what it's been about to maintain right. and do what we do and what I've been able to accomplish. So at the end of the day, I'd rather all of that stuff come from somebody else, like yourself. You
and you're a humble guy, and I see that in you. That's why I always I'm just grateful that I'm getting to know you now and a different side of you. And even when you put out the song Sensitivity, I was like, he a good dude. He wrote a song about sensitivity when feelings wasn't, expressed so easily, even in our community. And that's the whole point of this conversation. Welcome to the Yale Wellness Check-In. This is something I started during the pandemic so that, I could talk to celebrities about their feelings and their thoughts, and we can kind of uplift one another and just share secrets of support and the support of wellness. And, Loretta was telling me a lot about how wellness and self-care and all that is really important to you now. And so I just want to start by saying, how are you and your family doing and your children, during these tough times?
Right now, we're doing all right. Everybody's good. I can't complain. We've dodged all the little bullets so far. I lost one uncle, Uncle Richard.
I'm sorry.
Father's oldest brother to COVID. But outside of that, everybody's been good. I can't complain. At the end of the day, I'm doing the same thing everybody else is doing. Just, wearing my mid-ass.
Yes.
Possible. Not intermingling as much as possible, whenever not possible. Just being a homebody, taking it easy, taking all my vitamins and minerals and my my sea mosses and my burdock roots and my teas and my black seed oils. I'm just loading my body up with vitamin C's and
Okay.
things to keep my immune ready for it in case I do encounter it or whatever. Just staying strong. At the end of the day, I'm in the same boat, trying to just see it through and hope that there's a light at the end of the tunnel that's good for everybody, you know.
And can I say this? And I say this in the most humble way. You look really healthy and at peace.
Thank you. I
And
am. I feel that way.
it's good, you know, because the industry can be a tough industry, right? Even for
Yeah.
me, like I know, you know, I went through my own bouts of depression and stress and different things. And I'm just glad to see brothers, you know, really putting their health, you know, at the forefront of their life right now. And you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, I didn't have wild. I wasn't on the wild side of the game. You know what I mean? A party lifestyle at all of the different functions,
Yeah.
drinking, smoking, and doing whatever. You know, it was all out there. But you know, my mother and my father drank a little bit, but nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And my mother didn't. She had a little beer here and there when we were younger, and throughout the years, she just wasn't into all of that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
so it wasn't an influence that was immediately around me or something I gravitated to because I saw all my uncles and everybody else always partying and stuff. Not on that level. They were a close family that mostly did things indoors with
Yeah.
each other. So I kind of have that as a part of my makeup. You know what I mean? What
That's
makes me
right.
up. I don't need the clubs, I don't need the parties, and I don't need the wild lifestyle. So I was able to dodge a lot of that stuff, and I think it's showing up in the later years. I'm able to keep it together a little better.
That's a blessing. You come from good stock, as they say down here in the South.
Yeah,
I
great
love
stuff.
it. I love it. And so, as I mentioned, I was able to watch the documentary, and it was great, by the way. Congratulations. If y'all hadn't seen it, it's a closer look. So make sure you can get it from Amazon Prime. And is it UMC? I think the channel that's
Yeah,
available on.
that's it. UMC.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
y'all gotta watch this, and you know, give me some hearts if you've already seen it. It's so good, and I know you talked a lot about loving the water, and you know,
Yeah.
living by the beach now, and you like fishing. So
Yeah.
have you been doing a lot of that, and what else are you doing right now for wellness and self-care outside of taking your vitamins that you mentioned?
Here and there, I'm still doing my calisthenics, and yeah, I still been fishing. I go out here every now and then. It's one of the things you can still do and be distant from people. You know what
Right.
I mean? But my sons and I have come out here, and my youngest son, Dakari, he's out here with me almost every other day. So we hit the jetties and get out there and catch us some fish. We get it in, you know, just spending time together while we can. And um, at the end of the day, as far as keeping myself healthy, just doing my calisthenics,
Hmm.
staying low key, you know, taking walks, just getting out in nature. I like
I
to let
love
the
walks too.
Oh my goodness, it's the best thing ever. You know, a lot of people think they got to get on the treadmill and jog and all that. Man, you can get it done, especially if you're walking on that sand. That
Hmm.
sand, there's something beautiful about walking on sand that you really feel the difference, the strength in your legs afterwards. I've walked on, you know, the pavement and I don't get the same level of just feels like the workout is, you know, is obviously it's
Yeah.
different. Sand is moving underneath you, so I feel that. I like to get the sun on my skin, on my face whenever possible. You know, I just doing those kind of things. I eat healthy. You know, I've been a vegan for the last five
Oh,
years
you're
almost now.
vegan. I didn't know that.
Yeah, been vegan. You know, I slip up here and there, my seafood with a cake. But what the big thing about it is I've learned the difference between the accumulation of toxins and not
Okay.
doing the right things to detoxify, get the stuff out of my body. I know how to remove anything I do slip up on immediately out the body instead of waiting 10, 15, 30 years even before you actually clean out. That's where you start seeing the side effects from what you eat and all that really take place. But
So do
just
you
giving
do
the
like teas, or what is your routine to kind of detoxify?
yeah, I have a detox program, mostly herbs.
Okay.
I get on my herbs and my minerals. I make sure that I get my sea moss in. But my vitamin C detox, I have a few of them. I have a few different ones I've done. I've done even intravenous vitamin C's and um, colloidal silvers and things like that
Yeah.
that kind of about the body immediately. But mostly it's a fasting thing. Break away from the food, eat healthy, electric foods, you know, via Dr. Sebi's request, instructions. 'Cause I'm a huge fan, follower of him,
Okay.
follow him. So at the end of the day, just eating the green foods, lots of water, and just knowing how to take that break in between to, you know, get rid of all that mucus and the, you know, the bad stuff, the bad buildup from some of the things we eat, even just air pollution and different things like that. You got to do it even if you don't eat bad, because even as a, yeah, even as a vegan, you still have to eliminate the body and make sure that you replenishing the body with the things that it needs, because the body's constantly trying to ward off the oxidation process to, you know, keep us from deteriorating. You give it what it needs, it'll do it on its own. So at the end of the day, that's pretty much what I make sure I do. Fill my body up with all the things that I know the body's going to need to assist the body to let it do what it does. You know?
I love that. You're inspiring me right now, because I have gained a little weight over the pandemic for obvious reasons. And I've really been praying about it and just asking God to kind of remove the taste from some of that stuff that I don't need from my mouth, because I definitely need, you know, the encouragement and the help. But I appreciate all that you just dropped.
Absolutely. That's what it is. Just get into your fasting and you'll see a lot of that excess toxin. That's what fat is. When it stores in the body, it's storing it for fuel for a rainy day. You know, you can't get any food or whatever. So you just do that on its own. It'll start eating that as fuel. It'll, you know, breathe and blink and all that. It'll start removing that excess fat from around the vital organs and just overall throughout the body. It'll start removing those things and burning it for fuel. And you'll see it all. It happens pretty quick. Once it starts, it's a quick thing. I'm talking about stomach, neck, hips, wherever.
Yes.
It'll burn it down quick. So just find it good. You don't have to do it that long either. It doesn't like some people are going to a 30-day fast and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, now you do a week or so and let them and while replenishing the body with what it really needs. Meaning electric foods that are grown by the sun, and you're good. You know what I mean? You put that in your body, it'll start getting you back right.
I kind of hear a little wellness book or something coming on in your future. Let me find out.
Listen, I've been studying holistic medicine.
Rizzo out here dropping the jewels, y'all. I hope y'all enjoying this. I've
been working on this and studying holistic medicine and just practices over the years. So the last 8-9 years, probably more. That's why solidly I've been into it and going down the rabbit hole and finding out what I could do and what the body really needs.
Yeah.
What's a food? You know what I mean? Why do we have a mouth and all that kind of stuff? You start figuring those things out. It starts becoming something that's, we almost biologically are programmed to know these things. It's like a dog. Animals know to eat grass when they have certain things. You know, it's kind of there. It starts turning back on and starts making sense. So
yeah,
for me, I might just do something like that. I've been talking to my cousin Daryl.
I think you should.
Yeah, I'm talking to my cousin Daryl about doing something on TV. So we might be doing a holistic show or something like that sometime soon. But at the end of the day, it's just something that I've been practicing, and I figured if it can show up on me and I become more fluent with it, because I haven't gone to school, well, I have slightly online, but you know, just really spending 15 years and getting all the doctrine behind me and the stuff and the licenses and the different things that says I passed. I haven't really done those things, but I could sit in a room with the best someone with the white coat on.
Listen, life and experiences is the best teacher, right?
How about that? That's right.
So you can get whatever, you know, certificates you need, but brother, you got the knowledge. So I'm going to be on the lookout for that for sure.
Good stuff. I appreciate that, Shanti.
Absolutely. So, you know, a lot of what we obviously put in our body, it affects our mental health, because I tell people, you know, it's mind, body, and soul, right? It really is the same thing. And in 2016, I founded an organization called Silence the Shame. And I don't know, you probably don't know a lot about my story, but in 2015, I came close to taking my own life. And my dad took his own life when I was younger. And my sister, my best friend took her own life in 2014. And so I got the help that I needed. And I started this organization that really is doing great things now in the community and globally. And you know, we work to erase stigma, especially in communities of color. And so I wanted to know your thoughts around mental health stigma, especially as Black men. I do see more people opening up and talking about their problems, but there is still such a stigma there. And I just want to give a message to not only Black men, but women of color as well. But what would you say to our brothers around stigma and mental wellness? Because whether we've experienced
Go.
Sorry
There
about
you go.
that technology. I apologize. I was saying whether you've experienced it or not, some of our family members have, right? So I just wanted your thoughts on around mental health and stigma.
Well, I think we've all gone through that. We all have our certain level of bouts with it. How far we're willing to go or take it when it happens is one thing. But I've been through it. When my mom passed, I felt like I fell into a deep state of depression. Um, my marriages, when they fail, you just go through things where you question, you question inside your own mind. But I think that's the problem. One of the things like what you're talking about, as far as the stigmatism, as Black men, we're raised to not be vulnerable, to not show pain, to not show weakness, um, to not show fragility, just not be fragile.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's hard when you talk about your mental health. It comes off to people, especially in our community, as a sign of weakness, as a state of. But at the end of the day, it's a real thing. And I've had some of my nephews, people contemplate suicide. I've never sat down myself and actually got that far with it, but I can feel like I could have gone down that rabbit hole with those thoughts if I had allowed them. I was raised different, man. I was raised in a way where I speak my mind, especially when things like that. I'm not afraid to be who I am and what I am. And that's why you hear songs like Sensitivity when that wasn't the cool person to be at the time. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't mind going outside the box. Being able to express yourself to family members, friends, loved ones, and just in general is very important, because you start seeing at that point that there's more people than you assume going through the same things or have those same highs and lows or those same kind of thoughts. And at the end of the day, you get a sense of not feeling alone about it, because that's where the problems become, where they can spiral out of control. You're just keeping it contained within yourself. You feel like there's no outlet for it. Eventually, you just want to check out. You don't want to keep having that feeling.
Yeah.
But the way I see it is, we got to come together. We got to open up. We can't be afraid to hold on to each other, to lean on each other in any situation. Mental health is a serious thing. It's a real thing. Being able to sit down and talk to a therapist or anybody without feeling you crazy, or there's something wrong with you that can't be fixed, or something just wrong with you in general. And why is it wrong with me? Why did I have to go through that kind of things? It's like, that's not the thing to dwell on or to think about when you're having those kind of thoughts. That when your mind is going through those kind of feelings and emotions. Overall, again, a lot, like you're saying, a lot of things go hand in hand. When you start eating better and it just takes you down a path of where a lot of things start becoming more clearer.
Yeah.
Of how to handle yourself, how to take care of yourself, how to open up, how to just do the right things in any instance, in any situation. You start seeing that gaining that ability to grab your reins and do the right thing instead of isolating yourself, binge eating toxic stuff that toxic mentally as well. The clarity of thought gets changed by your diet. Fasting helps with that. Just your overall diet and eating properly will just take you down a path that starts you thinking about cleaning everything up. So mentally, you start cleaning up as well.
Yes.
But being afraid to talk about where you are, your state of mind, what kind of pressures or depression or things that's causing depression or that feeling. It's vital to be able to let that out, talk to people, and get that feedback from people, and feel that sense of you're not the only one. Everybody goes through this, and there's nothing wrong with you. You're good. All you got to do is let it out and keep it moving. It's okay to be strong. Even as men, we know we got to be strong. We got to be that. Got to be the backbone and the muscle, and sometimes that interferes with it, thinking that there's something wrong with you. Even like you said, the stigma behind feeling like as a man, I can't represent, I can't cry,
right,
I can't, those kind of things. Let that go, man. Let it out. That's toxins. That's the body's way of releasing.
I love that. I tell people crying can be therapeutic. It doesn't mean that you're weak. And I love a brother that can get a good cry in
Yeah, you don't want them crying when somebody's breaking in the house, but in real situations, you need somebody to, that can let their feelings out, let it go, get that reset. That's what
Yeah.
it's all about. It's a reset that takes place with it. That if you don't allow it to happen, you're just holding that. You're holding toxins in, literally mental toxins, physical toxins that build out of that mental state of
Mm-hmm.
mind. After a while, that overloads, and
Mm-hmm.
like with anything, once it overloads, it becomes unbearable, and some extreme things can come out of that. That you
Mm-hmm.
can't take back. So talk. Communication is everything, man. And being able to have people to let that go and communicate with is your reset. It really is your chance to have that start over, that understanding that I'm not alone. There's nothing wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through some things that I have to find ways to deal with these things, and through other people, and through just living healthy overall, it'll start turning you. It starts getting to your mind as well, where your mind becomes healthy, your thoughts become healthy, the things you want to do become healthy, the paths that you want to take become healthy, and that's just an overall thing. They go together, you know.
Yo, can I just tell you, like, I mean, I don't know if you listening to reading the comments rather, like, you are really, really just enriching our soul and our spirit right now. And all the work that I do around mental health, just the way you're, putting it into context around food and thinking healthy and eating healthy, and just for it coming from you is just so refreshing. And my girlfriend April just said, "Oh, you gave us another reason to love you even more." Like you're such a like wise person beyond years. Like I hope you know that. Like I'm trying to just give you your flowers. I just need you to know, like, y'all put some flowers in the comments. Like, let's give this brother his flowers, because you are just
Hey,
wow. Not only do we love you as a musician, but just the man that you are and the man that you've become, and your love for people and your spirit is just it's refreshing. I just wanted to say that.
I appreciate it, and I love y'all too. I thank you for all the wonderful comments and stuff. It's just a real thing, It's one of those things that it ain't to get a pat on the back or any of that stuff.
Oh, I know.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing that I grew up around. I grew up in. My family represents. I'm basically a carbon copy of them. You know what I'm saying? And their mindset and how they think. I've had aunties tell me. One of my aunties. I won't name it because I don't think she. I don't know if she would want me to say her name. But
Mm-hmm.
one of my aunties told me, man, she didn't know what she. If it wasn't for the strong mind and the way that we came up, she'd have probably checked herself out years ago. You know.
Yeah.
And hearing that come from her, this was one of my times when I'm calling my family and calling my people. And it's like I'm saying, you got to be able to hear these stories from other people. You got to be
Yeah.
able to be vulnerable enough to open up to people that you didn't know was going through it.
Yeah.
I didn't ever was feeling that or was contemplating those kind of things, but she gave me the real. She told me how to deal with it, how she dealt with it, basically, and it helped me to understand. Yeah, well, that's just a part of life. You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have from time to time with these thoughts. It's the accumulation of them and the isolation of them that becomes the problem after.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And it starts to snowball. And I'll be honest with you, while we being honest, I actually was crying this morning when I was watching the documentary, because I lost my sister unexpectedly last year. I'm gonna try not to get emotional,
Sorry to hear that.
but I've been having a tough time,
Yeah.
and with the holidays and everything, and a lot of people have lost relatives with COVID, and it's just a lot. And so even this work that I do, and I have all the tools, I try to lean into my grief, but I don't try, I try not to stay there. But if I'm having a moment, even right before this live, I was like, God, pull me in to the spirit where I can talk to this brother and be able to impart some knowledge and wisdom for everybody that's listening. But I'm still struggling, and I know that losing your mother was really difficult for you. And I know you were younger because it was in the 90s, if I recall correctly, when it happened. Is there any advice that you can give us just around grief? And I know a lot of people on this live right now that are watching have experienced grief and loss as well this year, because of the pandemic or otherwise.
It's a tough subject. Um, And again, I'm sorry to hear about your sister.
Thank you.
You know, first, let me say that what you've been doing throughout the years is very necessary. You're very necessary. Make sure you keep understanding that.
Thank you.
That what you're doing and your testimony from the things you've gone through and some of the things that you will go through, your strength, your ability to keep moving and keep going on is an example in itself, and opening up forums for other people to be able to express themselves and hear your story and hear your testimony and minds and others is, that's the real work. That's the great work. That's the good work that's necessary and we need more of. So my hat's off to you and
Thank
deep
you.
warm heartfelt mahs to you for doing
Thank you.
what you do, because there's a whole lot of people that's being helped for it. It's going to be better off because of you. So don't you give up and keep doing what you're doing. And I'll say to anybody else that's listening, everybody has testimony. Everybody has their walk, and there's somebody that's near them and dear to them. And maybe sometimes, like even in our case, where we don't know them, we don't get to, we don't see them all. They need us. They need those stories. They need those facts and those truths about what we go through. And it's not easy for anybody, doesn't, because you see somebody dancing and jumping around on a stage or acting in movies or dunking basketballs for a living, and they make it seem like they got this storybook life. I can guarantee you a huge percentage of them, not all of them, have moments just like the ones we're talking about now. And it's the ones who understand how to let it go, how to share it, how to help others. You live life with the intentions of being a helper instead of somebody that's always being needy, but understanding your perspective on life is to be a helper, someone that can leave behind a better world than the one that you were in. And that comes from sharing your testimonies abroad, personally and abroad. At the end of the day, if you're listening, I would just say that just stay the course, understand that it's all for a reason. It has a purpose, and the main purpose is to strengthen you. Because like you all know the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And if you lean on that and lean on the fact that when it gets down to nothing, God is up to something, you can always see the good that can come out of what you've been through. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Try to remain being a helper in the world. And I think that's where we, at one day, we give ourselves a chance to look up one day and the world is it really is a better place.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh gosh. Thank you for those kind words, by the way. I only have a few more questions. I don't want to hold you too long, but I do want to get,
Shanti, before you go, it was right before I got on with you, a huge supporter and rider, one of my riders, Lisa Fanny, passed away.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I just had heard that from Marv Neal. He had told me. I was looking online afterwards and I saw it, validated everything. And I just want to send my condolences to her and her family. May God send a comforter to each and every one of you during this time. It's hard to lose somebody, but understand we all have to walk that walk one day. Unfortunately, we lost a good one. She was a sweet spirit, very, very
so sorry.
One of the groups was a huge, just active in getting the word out and being a part of my career and New Edition's career. Just a sweet spirit. And I just want to send my love to her and let her know that I loved her. I love her still. And like I do all my riders. And we'll meet again someday, love.
Oh, God bless her spirit. And I'll definitely add her to my prayer list tonight for sure. I wanted to ask you about the new song. I love it. All Mine, featuring Johnny Gill. It's just refreshing again to have, some additional music from you now. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? What are you doing? I know it's COVID, but are you doing any virtual stuff? What else can we expect? And kind of like, it sounds like, I don't know, maybe somebody in love again, but the song.
Honey, he it was sent to him for his album, and he heard it that it sounds like something I would do, or that I, sounds like me. So he sent it to me, and I immediately heard what he was talking about, and went and recorded it at his house. And a few days later, he sent it back to me with him on it, and we had just did a song called Perfect that was doing well.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it did so well, and the energy of me and him was back out there like the Can You Stand the Rain days, and just listening to the combination of me and his voices play off each other was working so fine on that song, on mine song, that I knew that was the next single. I knew something I could put out right away, and felt like it would it would do us justice. It was a time that was needed, a song that was needed. Grown folk music.
Yes.
Was the same, and I was like, this feels like a nice cross between what we've been doing and what's popping now, in a way that doesn't feel like I was chasing, trying to be new, and too old where it wouldn't work in today's market or time. So it was one of those songs that just felt right, and because of that and the success of it. Well, it's always been the plan, but now definitely because of the success of All Mine, we're working on the new album, finishing that project, working on a new joint. Been in talks with New Edition about doing some more virtual, still doing something together.
Don't be playing with my feelings right now. Hold up.
No, we're getting it in. We're talking about it now, trying to figure out a way to surface and do it something special for the fans and for ourselves. So that's on the table. Like I said, trying to do some TV stuff, personally, some just get out here in other ways where it's not just about music, but I'm gonna be able to help in other ways. My music I've been able to help through music because a lot of the subject matter has been about love and togetherness, and the overall energy behind my career and New Edition's career is spreading love. And I got a percentage of our records is about it. So
does that bug you out sometimes? Like in present day, you got 49, 50, 60-year-old women acting like they are in the 6th grade all over again. Me and one of my best friends, Shanti, like we laugh and we joke, but like anytime we would hear of a New Edition concert going on sale, we were like getting our tickets first before everybody, as if we were back in middle school. But how does that make you feel?
It's a blessing, I'll come up. I've seen artists before I got in the business, during the time I've been in the business, come and go, and we're still been able to do what we do. I say ain't no fans like New Edition fans.
Oh my God.
They really ride or dies, man. And
NE for life.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a testament to the group style, what the group brought to the table and brought to the game. You can't see it nowhere else. There's no other artist that's going to give you the type of show New Edition got. Now, there's great shows and there's great concerts, but the record, the style, what we represent, the choreography, Brooke Payne,
love Brooke.
Blessed us with as youngsters to this day. It's just, it's a one-of-a-kind thing. So when we move around, people want to see that. People want to come out and get that energy because there's nowhere else to get it.
Absolutely.
So they're still supporting it and loving it. And that's why we continue to do it. I guess at the end of the day, if they was gone, we'd be gone. You know what I mean? Ubuntu. I am because we are. I have because we are.
Yes. And shout out to Brooke and Marv and just everybody on the team. Like, God, we love all y'all. And you know what I learned today that I didn't know in the documentary? You wrote the line Ronnie, Bobby, and Ricky and Mike.
Absolutely.
Man, listen. I was like, say what?
Yeah, I used to write all my own rhymes and all that stuff back then. I used to do my own writing.
But do you understand what that meant? Like that right there, because I'm a marketing person.
Yeah.
That was genius.
Yeah.
Because a lot of groups, even, throughout the 90s and 2000s, they struggle. So you always have a front person. But then the other group members tend to struggle and not necessarily connect with the fans. And that was the beautiful thing about New Edition. And we even, some of my girlfriends and I, we talk about it. Like we all had our, oh, that's Ronnie's, Ronnie's my guy, Ralph's my guy, Bobby's my guy. Everybody had their guy in New Edition, but it was just brilliant marketing. So like, kudos to you for that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and purposely. It was done so that the rest of the members could get their,
Get
to
they
start
shine.
get their shine on as well. Exactly. So
And you
it was
know what?
important.
And it's exemplary of the man that you are, because you give a crap about the average person, and especially your brothers. Like, that was so selfless.
Yeah, I mean, those were my brothers, and
Man,
the way we saw ourselves, everybody was supposed to shine. It turned into a Jackson thing, but when we started out, it was probably a mixture of the streets, the Jacksons, but more primarily based on groups like the Temptations, Four
mm-hmm.
Top, Blue Magic. It was everybody stepped up. And as time went on, that just wasn't happening. We're just falling into, it was falling into, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, it was falling into just me. I would go in the studio and all the records would be designed around my voice because everybody wanted to duplicate the success of the Candy Girl album. So all the
Right.
producers sent records based on that formula. And so, yeah, when we started sitting down working on the Cool It Now album or the self-titled New Edition album, that was when I just was feeling it around the camp where everybody was starting to the camaraderie and the way that we saw ourselves wasn't coming to fruition.
Mm.
And I was trying to make that happen. It was like, I want everybody to be known. Everybody, what's funny to me is everybody said, well, I used to meet people, and this is how crazy the world is. I would meet and run into people, and they would act like I wasn't a part. Are you really a member of the group? Because how come I didn't hear your name? And that's like, ooh, I'm the one saying it. What are you talking about? But I would hear stuff like that. I
I
also
love it,
hear
girl. Who cares who you like? That, because, yeah,
exactly.
it was
That's what I'm
you.
saying. Like, come on, man, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, that's me saying it. Oh, what you talking about?
That's
But I've had
hilarious.
people ask me, hey, do you know Bobby Brown? Stuff like that. It's like, no, I don't know Bobby Brown. Like, these dudes is crazy.
Oh my God, these stories are incredible. And I just want to shout out Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis because they, love them. They're brilliant. And I know Jimmy Jam is a big fan of yours, and he even like reposted on his stories about this interview today. And one of my favorite songs that they ever produced on you all is Sorry You're Not My Kind of Girl. Like, man, listen.
Wow.
That's on my top 10 of all time records ever. Top five. Top five.
Wow, that's deep. Brooke Payne he laid that choreography out for that one.
That
Whenever you see
song,
that
them
choreography,
white
now,
suits, it looked like
yeah,
y'all were in a boxing ring, I think, or on stage.
yeah,
That's my
yeah.
record. Like, I'm telling you, that's my song.
Crazy. It's one of the hardest songs for me to sing in concert.
Really?
Yeah, it is. It's because you come to the fans and the ladies, they come to the concert to feel like you singing to them in most instances. You know what I'm saying? And to be trying to
Oh,
point
yeah,
at
I
them,
thought you were singing to me back in the day at every show.
you're not the one for me. Basically, it's like that ain't what they're trying to hear.
Oh, yeah.
I could see him ducking now. He ain't talking to me right now. He's gonna be singing to me if it isn't with you all the way or something like you know what I'm saying?
That's
Wait.
hilarious.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward, but the choreography and the way it was set up made the song pleasant to do in concert. But
Yeah.
as a singer up front, trying to portray that record, it was like an oxymoron because it's hard to point and talk to somebody while you
Yeah,
sing.
that's hilarious.
You're not the one for me. That ain't what they want to hear.
No doubt. And of course, If It Isn't Love, even like, I don't know if you watch D Nice sometimes, but everybody's watched him during Club Quarantine. Shout out to D Nice. And every time he plays a New Edition set, he's like, where's Shanti? Where's Shanti? Because like one year at the mayor's ball, like 3 or 4 years ago, me and Usher did the routine from If It Isn't Love.
That's crazy.
So now he knows, like, everybody knows, even Mike to this day, Bivens, every time he sees me, he's like, you the original Candy Girl, me and Charlotte. So I proudly wear that badge.
That's hot. I like that.
I love it. All right, well, a few last things. So do you like books or movies?
Books or movies? I'm more visual.
Okay.
It sticks with me. I retain it better when I visually see it. So I would say movies on that one.
All right. And football or basketball?
Basketball for sure. I wasn't ever really, I could play football pretty well, but I wasn't built for it. You know what I'm saying? I played.
Are you a Celtics fan?
A huge Celtics. I mean, I'm all Boston sports.
Okay.
I mean, when you grow up in Boston, that's just how it
Ooh,
is.
you and Marvin McIntyre. Every time them doggone Patriots won, he'd be up in my text message. We'd be arguing back and forth.
Yeah, Marv's a huge Celtics fan.
Oh my
All
God.
the sport, everything New England, Boston area, all that's the Red Sox, Patriots, Bruins, Celtics. We follow them all. Like once you're a Boston, when you're born in Boston, you're pretty much bred to only like and follow and support the Boston
But
sports.
that's how it should be. Like for me, and don't laugh, but yeah, I'm born and raised in the A, and my Falcons, I love them to death. I love their dirty draws, you know. Even that year y'all hurt us, it's okay.
My mother was born in Brunswick, Georgia. You know what I mean? So we got nothing but family and love for the A. So ain't nothing wrong with it. I love Atlanta.
Absolutely. And lastly, do you like recording in the studio or touring live?
I like live touring. I like performing songs live. You know, it could be tedious in the studio. It's a lot of time. And sometimes like I just can't wait till this record is finished. You know what I mean? So I can get it done. Some songs you really just are into that way.
Yeah.
But a lot of times the process of it is just long, tedious, and a lot of repetitiveness. And I like the end result. After the song's out, it's been a hit. And when it comes on, you hear the reaction from the crowd that, oh, they about to do, or he's about to do my song. It's a different type of energy that goes on with that. And adrenaline rush that happens when you have all those people out there watching you live. So live for sure, on concert, on stage.
I love that. Well, I know I have taken up enough of your time, brother. This has been one of my best lives, and I've been doing them since during the quarantine and since the pandemic started. But I'm just so full right now, and I hope we can do something else together, maybe for the culture and for the people around wellness, because I just think you have so much to offer. Of course, we're going to support All Mine. We're going to be waiting anxiously for the album. We'll be waiting for whatever quarantine concert, drive-through, whatever you could do with New Edition. We cannot wait to just see y'all on stage again and to see you and Johnny and all the magic that you guys are making. But just thank you on behalf of Wellness, my brand, and on behalf of Silence to Shame, my foundation. I'm going to be making an announcement in February. We're getting a major gift from one of the large record companies, and we're going to be training musicians and creatives and executives in music around mental health. So
nice.
I'm excited to continue to, spread joy and wellness and love and peace. And Ralph, I thank you so much. I wish you and your family, happy holidays from the bottom of my heart. And just, you got a sister in spirit and a sister in service. If you ever need anything from me, and Johnny knows how I feel about him and the rest of the guys, just know that, I'm here to support you, and you continue to inspire us because we love you and we really appreciate you.
Thank you, Shanti. I love you too. And keep doing what you're doing. You're inspiring me right now, watching how you're moving. Yeah, I got to get more on that side of the game because I love what you do.
Thank you.
Whatever, you reach out. You let me know. I got you.
I will. God bless you, Ralph.
God bless you too. Riders, thanks for mounting up, y'all. I love y'all, man.
And
thanks
E for life.
And me. Shout out to the NE crew.
Yes.
That's what's up.